Your mind shapes the universe. How your mind can bend reality to your will. Have you ever felt like there's a hidden code to life, a secret language whispered between the stars and the rustling leaves? Like you're walking through a magnificent, intricate play, but you've misplaced the script. You see the other actors, some confident, some stumbling, some seemingly blessed with uncanny luck, and you wonder, what do they know that I don't? This book is your script. Within these pages we'll unlock the ancient secrets of manifestation, the art of bending reality to your will. No, not through spells or sorcery, though a little magic never hurts, but through the power of your own mind. You see, dear reader, you are not merely a spectator in this grand cosmic performance. You are the playwright, the director, the lead actor, and the stagehand all rolled into one. This isn't some new age fad or wishful thinking. These are the time-tested truths whispered by sages and mystics throughout the ages, the very principles that govern the universe itself. They've been hidden in plain sight, woven into the fabric of existence, waiting for you to awaken to their power. Are you ready to step into the spotlight? To trade confusion for clarity, struggle for ease, and self-doubt for unshakable confidence? Are you ready to become the conscious creator of your own reality? The adventure begins now. We appreciate your support in helping us produce more content for you, so please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Chapter 1. The Whispers of the Walls. The antique clock chimed midnight, its echoing melody a stark contrast to the silence that had settled over the old Victorian house. Amelia, curled up on the worn rug in the attic, barely registered the sound. Her focus was consumed by a dusty, leather-bound journal, its pages filled with faded ink and cryptic symbols. It had been her grandmother's, a woman whispered to have possessed an uncanny knack for making things happen. Amelia, a self-proclaimed skeptic, had always dismissed those rumors as fanciful exaggerations. Yet, here she was, captivated by the journal's enigmatic contents, a strange pull tugging at her curiosity. As she deciphered the elegant script, a recurring phrase caught her attention: life's secret game. Intrigued, Amelia traced the words with her fingertip, a shiver running down her spine. Suddenly, the attic, usually a comforting haven, felt charged with an unseen energy. The air crackled, the shadows deepened, and the old grandfather clock ticked with an almost ominous intensity. Then it happened. The wall behind the clock, adorned with faded floral wallpaper, rippled like water. Amelia blinked, convinced it was a trick of the light. But the ripple grew, widening into an archway that pulsed with an ethereal glow. Hesitantly, she rose, her heart pounding in her chest. This was impossible, illogical, yet undeniably real. Driven by an irresistible force, Amelia stepped through the archway. The attic vanished, replaced by a scene that defied logic and challenged her perception of reality. She found herself in a vast, circular library, its towering shelves stretching into infinity. Books of every imaginable size and shape lined the walls, their titles shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence. A woman with eyes that sparkled like amethyst and hair like spun moonlight appeared before her. "Welcome, Amelia," she said, her voice a melodic chime. "You have found your way to the Library of Life." Amelia, still reeling from the impossible transition, stammered, "But how? What is this place?" The woman smiled, her expression radiating warmth and wisdom. "This, dear one, is where the secrets of life's game are revealed. You see, life isn't just a random series of events. It's a game, a grand, intricate dance with hidden rules and boundless possibilities." Amelia, the pragmatist, scoffed. "A game? Life is anything but a game. It's filled with challenges, struggles, and often feels utterly unfair." Ah, the librarian chuckled softly. And that's because most people play without knowing the rules. They stumble through their moves, reacting to circumstances instead of shaping them. She gestured towards the endless shelves. Each book here holds a key, a lesson, a strategy for playing the game more consciously. They reveal the connections between your thoughts, your actions, and the reality you experience. Amelia's skepticism wavered. Could this be true? Could there be a hidden order to the chaos of life? She felt a flicker of excitement, a spark of hope igniting within her. The librarian, sensing her shift, led her towards a towering bookshelf. "Let's start with the basics," she said, pulling out a slim volume titled The Power of Choice. As Amelia opened the book, the pages sprang to life. Vivid scenes unfolded before her eyes, illustrating how seemingly small choices rippled outwards, creating significant changes in the characters' lives. She saw a woman choosing kindness over anger, transforming a tense confrontation into a moment of connection. She witnessed a man choosing courage over fear, stepping out of his comfort zone to achieve his dreams. "Every choice you make," the librarian explained, "is a move in the game. Each decision, no matter how small, sends ripples of energy into the universe, shaping the reality you experience." Amelia, captivated by the living stories, began to grasp the profound implications. What if she had more control over her life than she realized? What if her choices, her thoughts, her beliefs were not just passive reactions but active forces shaping her destiny? The librarian then presented her with another book, this one titled The Dance of Action. As Amelia turned the pages, she witnessed how action, fueled by intention, transformed dreams into reality. She saw a painter bringing their vision to life stroke by stroke by stroke, an entrepreneur building their business brick by brick, a musician pouring their soul into every note. Action, the librarian emphasized, is the bridge between the inner world of thought and the outer world of manifestation. It is through your actions, aligned with your intentions, that you bring your desires into being. Amelia, her mind buzzing with new possibilities, felt a surge of empowerment. She had always been a passive observer, letting life happen to her. But now, she glimpsed a different path, a path where she was not just a pawn but an active participant, a conscious creator of her own reality. Finally, the librarian presented her with a book titled The Tapestry of Thought. As Amelia opened it, she was enveloped in a whirlwind of images and emotions. She saw how thoughts, like threads of different colors, wove together to create the intricate tapestry of a person's life. "Your thoughts," the librarian explained, "are the building blocks of your reality. They are the seeds that you plant in the fertile garden of the universe. And just as a seed grows into the likeness of its kind, so too do your thoughts manifest into the experiences you encounter." Amelia, overwhelmed by the sheer power of this concept, felt a profound shift within her. She had always considered her thoughts to be fleeting, inconsequential. But now, she understood their true significance. They were not just passive observers but active creators, shaping her world with every mental image, every belief, every fleeting notion. As the clock chimed once more, this time signaling the approaching dawn, Amelia found herself back in the attic, the journal resting in her lap. The library, the librarian, the living books, were they real or a fantastical dream? It didn't matter. The knowledge she had gained, the truths she had glimpsed, were undeniable. Life was indeed a game, and she, Amelia, was ready to play. Chapter 2. The Rhythm of the Universe. Elias, a musician with calloused fingertips and a soul brimming with melodies, felt the familiar sting of disappointment as he exited the dimly lit bar. Another night, another lukewarm reception to his heartfelt performance. He trudged down the rain-slicked streets, the city lights blurring into a kaleidoscope of frustration. "It's just not happening," he muttered to himself, his voice barely audible above the rhythmic drumming of the downpour. "Maybe I'm just not good enough." He kicked a stray can, the metallic clatter echoing his inner turmoil. Years of dedication, countless hours spent honing his craft, yet recognition remained elusive. Doubt, an insidious vine, began to wind its way around his dreams. As he reached a bustling square, a vibrant melody cut through the city's hum. A crowd had gathered around a street performer, their faces lit by the warm glow of a kerosene lamp. The performer, a woman with a voice like liquid sunshine, held the audience captive with her soulful tunes. Elias, drawn in by the magnetic energy, joined the periphery of the crowd. As he listened, something stirred within him, a spark of recognition. The performer wasn't just singing, she was radiating joy, a palpable energy that resonated with every note. During a break in the performance, Elias, compelled by an unseen force, approached the woman. "Your music," he began, his voice husky with emotion. "It's incredible. It's like you're channeling something bigger than yourself." The woman smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. "I am," she replied, her voice warm and inviting. "I'm tapping into the rhythm of the universe, the universal law that governs all creation." Elias, intrigued, furrowed his brow. "Universal law? What do you mean?" "The law of attraction, my friend," she explained, her voice taking on a gentle cadence. "It's the principle that like attracts like. What you focus on, you bring into your life." She gestured towards Elias's guitar case. "I saw you at the bar earlier. You're a talented musician, but your energy is clouded with doubt. You're attracting the very lack of recognition you fear." Elias's heart skipped a beat. Could this be true? Could his negative thoughts be shaping his reality? The woman continued, "Imagine the universe as a vast, echoing chamber. Every thought, every emotion you send out reverberates through this chamber, attracting experiences that match its frequency. If you focus on lack, you'll attract lack. But if you focus on abundance, on joy, on the belief in your own talent, you'll attract those things instead." Elias, his mind reeling, felt a glimmer of hope ignite within him. He had always believed that success was a matter of luck, of being in the right place at the right time. But what if he had more control than he realized? The performer, sensing his shift, offered a gentle smile. "It's like planting seeds," she explained. "Your thoughts are the seeds, and the universe is the fertile ground. If you plant seeds of doubt, you'll reap a harvest of disappointment. But if you plant seeds of confidence, of passion, of belief in your own worth, you'll attract a harvest of success and fulfillment." She pulled out a small, smooth stone from her pocket, its surface shimmering with iridescent hues. "Hold this," she instructed, "and close your eyes." Elias, his curiosity piqued, did as he was told. Now the woman's voice guided him. "Imagine yourself on stage. Feel the energy of the crowd, hear their applause, see their faces lit up with joy as your music moves them. Feel the confidence surging through you, the passion igniting your soul." Elias, immersed in the visualization, felt a powerful shift within him. The doubt that had been weighing him down began to dissipate, replaced by a growing sense of possibility. He could almost hear the roar of the crowd, feel the warmth of the spotlight, taste the sweetness of success. "Open your eyes," the woman's voice gently brought him back to the present. Elias blinked, the city lights seeming brighter, the rain less oppressive. He looked at the stone in his hand, its iridescent glow mirroring the newfound hope within him. "This," the woman explained, "is a reminder of the universal law. Carry it with you, and whenever doubt creeps in, hold it close, and remember you are the creator of your reality. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your intentions, they are the brushstrokes that paint the masterpiece of your life." Elias, his heart brimming with gratitude, thanked the woman and stepped back into the rain-washed street. The city lights no longer seemed to mock his dreams, they beckoned him forward, promising a future filled with music, joy, and the sweet taste of well-deserved recognition. He clutched the stone, its smooth surface a comforting anchor, and walked on with a newfound spring in his step. The rhythm of the universe, once a distant melody, now pulsed within him, a symphony of hope and possibility. He knew the journey wouldn't be easy, but he also knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that he was finally on the right path. He was ready to plant the seeds of his dreams and trust in the fertile ground of the universe to bring them to fruition. Chapter 3. The Awakening Within. Sarah stared at the swirling latte foam, her reflection staring back with tired eyes. Another Monday, another mountain of paperwork looming on her desk. The fluorescent lights of the office seemed to hum in mocking sympathy, a constant reminder of the predictability of her life. Just another cog in the machine, she sighed, the familiar feeling of discontent settling in her chest. She had always been a good girl, following the prescribed path, good grades, stable job, sensible life choices. Yet a nagging emptiness lingered, a whisper of what if that refused to be silenced. That night, sleep offered no escape from the monotony. Instead of the usual jumble of fragmented dreams, a vivid scene unfolded in her mind's eye. She found herself in a world of vibrant colors and fantastical creatures, a world where she was not Sarah, the office worker, but Alara, a sorceress with eyes that shimmered like stardust and hair that flowed like liquid moonlight. Alara stood on a cliff overlooking a vast, swirling ocean. With a graceful flick of her wrist, she summoned a wave of pure energy, shaping it into a magnificent ice sculpture that shimmered with an ethereal glow. Power surged through her veins, a feeling of limitless potential and boundless creativity. Sarah awoke with a gasp, her heart pounding. The dream felt so real, the echoes of Alara's power lingering in her fingertips. As she went through the motions of her morning routine, the dream refused to fade. Alara's confident gaze, her effortless command of magic, haunted Sarah's thoughts. On the train to work, surrounded by the usual sea of weary faces, Sarah felt a spark of defiance ignite within her. What if the dream wasn't just a random firing of neurons? What if it was a glimpse into her true potential, a hidden power waiting to be unleashed? As she sat at her desk, the familiar spreadsheets and reports seemed less imposing. Alara's words echoed in her mind, "The world is your canvas, and you, dear one, are the artist." Sarah looked around the office, her perspective shifting. The mundane tasks, once a source of drudgery, now seemed like opportunities for creativity. She approached her work with renewed focus, finding innovative solutions and streamlining processes. Her colleagues, surprised by her sudden burst of energy, commented on her glow. Sarah, emboldened by this subtle shift, began to see her life through Alara's eyes. The city streets became her enchanted forest, the bustling crowds her fantastical creatures. She started noticing the beauty in the everyday, the intricate patterns of light and shadow, the symphony of urban sounds. She enrolled in a pottery class, her hands finding a new language of expression in the cool clay. She started writing in a journal, pouring her thoughts and dreams onto the pages, her words taking shape like Alara's ice sculptures. With each act of creation, Sarah felt a growing sense of empowerment. She was no longer just Sarah, the office worker. She was Sarah, the artist, the dreamer, the sorceress awakening to her own magic. One evening, as she walked home from her pottery class, a vibrant sunset painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson. Sarah stopped, mesmerized by the spectacle. In that moment, she felt a profound connection to something larger than herself, a sense of belonging to the grand cosmic dance. Alara's voice whispered in her ear, "You are not just a player in this game of life, dear one. You are a creator, a divine spark with the power to shape your reality." Sarah closed her eyes, tears of gratitude welling up. She had spent so long playing small, dimming her light to fit in. But now, she understood. She was not just a cog in the machine, she was a divine being, a powerful creator with the ability to manifest her dreams. The world around her seemed to shimmer, the city lights twinkling like distant stars. Sarah smiled, a wave of confidence washing over her. She was ready to step into her power, to embrace her true potential, to paint her own masterpiece on the canvas of life. The journey wouldn't be easy, but she knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that she was finally on the right path. The awakening had begun, and there was no turning back. Chapter 4. The Arena of the Mind. The roar of the crowd was deafening, a tidal wave of sound that threatened to engulf Anya. She stood on the precipice of the platform, the Olympic diving pool shimmering below like a turquoise abyss. Sweat beaded on her forehead, not entirely from the heat of the midday sun. Fear. A familiar opponent tightened its icy grip around her chest. This was it, the culmination of years of relentless training, the moment she had both yearned for and dreaded. Anya, a diver with the grace of a swan and the determination of a warrior, had always excelled in practice. Yet when the stakes were high, doubt, a relentless saboteur, crept into her mind, whispering insidious doubts. What if I falter? It hissed. What if I choke? What if I fail on the world's biggest stage? Anya closed her eyes, battling the inner turmoil. She had visualized this dive countless times, her body soaring through the air with effortless precision, her entry into the water a seamless whisper. But now, with the eyes of the world upon her, the image wavered, replaced by a montage of potential disasters. Suddenly, a voice cut through the mental chaos. It was her coach, a woman who exuded unwavering belief in Anya's abilities. "Anya," she said, her voice calm and steady, "remember the power of your mind. Your thoughts are not just spectators, they are active participants in this game." Anya opened her eyes, meeting her coach's gaze. The woman's words resonated deep within her, a lifeline in the sea of doubt. "Your mind," the coach continued, "is the arena where this competition is truly won or lost. If you allow fear to dominate, it will sabotage your performance. But if you focus on your training, on your strength, on the joy of the dive, you will unleash your true potential." Anya took a deep breath, her coach's words echoing in her mind. She had always focused on the physical aspects of diving, the precise angles, the perfect execution. But what if the mental game was equally important? She closed her eyes again, this time consciously shifting her focus. She banished the images of failure, replacing them with memories of past triumphs, of the exhilarating feeling of flight, of the satisfying silence as she pierced the water's surface. She imagined her muscles responding with practiced ease, her body a symphony of coordinated movement. She felt the surge of adrenaline, not as a harbinger of fear, but as a source of power propelling her towards greatness. She saw herself standing on the podium, the gold medal draped around her neck, the cheers of the crowd washing over her. The image was so vivid, so real, that a smile touched her lips. "Anya," her coach's voice gently brought her back to the present. "It's time." Anya opened her eyes, the fear replaced by a quiet determination. She stepped onto the platform, the roar of the crowd fading into a distant hum. Her mind was clear, her focus laser-sharp. This was her arena, her moment to shine. She took her position, her body poised on the edge of the platform. In that moment, time seemed to slow down. She took a deep breath, gathering her energy, her intention. Then, with a graceful push, she launched herself into the air. As she soared through the air, she felt a sense of freedom she had never experienced before. Her body moved with an effortless precision, guided by the power of her focused mind. She was not just diving, she was dancing with gravity, a symphony of motion and intention. The water rushed towards her, no longer an abyss but a welcoming embrace. She entered with barely a ripple, the silence a testament to her flawless execution. As she surfaced, the roar of the crowd returned, this time a chorus of awe and appreciation. Anya emerged from the water, a triumphant smile illuminating her face. She had conquered not just the dive, but the doubts and fears that had held her back. She had discovered the true power of the mind, the arena where victory is ultimately claimed. And in that moment she knew that this was just the beginning. With her newfound mental mastery, she was ready to soar to even greater heights, her dreams fueled by the unwavering belief in her own limitless potential. Chapter 5. The Vision Weaver. Lila stared at the blank canvas, a whirlwind of colors and emotions swirling within her. She had always dreamed of being an artist, of translating the vibrant visions in her mind onto the tangible world. Yet fear, a persistent shadow, held her back. "What if I'm not good enough?" it whispered, its voice a chilling echo of past criticisms. "What if my art is just mediocre?" Lila, a woman with a heart full of dreams and a spirit yearning for expression, had allowed these doubts to confine her creativity to fleeting sketches and hesitant doodles. But today, something felt different. A newfound determination sparked within her, fueled by the lessons she had been learning about the power of intention. She recalled the words from the ancient text: "Intention is the guiding force in the game of life. Just as an arrow flies true with a clear target, so too will your efforts in life find their mark when guided by focused purpose." Lila decided to put this wisdom to the test. She closed her eyes, taking a deep breath, centering her awareness. In her mind's eye, she envisioned her ideal life, a cozy studio bathed in natural light, her paintings adorning the walls, visitors marveling at her creations. She felt the satisfaction of expressing her unique vision, the joy of sharing her art with the world. With this clear intention burning bright within her, Lila reached for her brushes. The blank canvas no longer seemed daunting, it beckoned her forward, a blank slate upon which to weave her dreams. She started with bold strokes, her fear momentarily forgotten. Colors danced across the canvas, a vibrant tapestry of emotions and inspirations. She painted with abandon, channeling the energy of her intention, her every stroke a declaration of purpose. As she worked, a sense of flow enveloped her. The doubts that had plagued her faded, replaced by a quiet confidence. She was not just painting, she was manifesting her vision, her every brushstroke a step towards her dream life. Days turned into weeks, and Lila's studio transformed into a sanctuary of creation. She painted with unwavering focus, her intention her guiding star. She researched art galleries, networked with fellow artists, and even launched a website to showcase her work. One day, as she was adding the finishing touches to a particularly vibrant piece, a woman stepped into her studio. Lila, surprised by the unexpected visitor, greeted her with a warm smile. The woman, her eyes sparkling with admiration, gestured towards the paintings adorning the walls. "Your work is breathtaking," she said, her voice filled with genuine appreciation. "I'm an art curator, and I would love to feature your pieces in an upcoming exhibition." Lila's heart skipped a beat. Could this be real? Was her dream truly manifesting before her eyes? The curator continued, "Your paintings have a unique energy, a vibrancy that speaks to the soul. They are exactly what I've been searching for." Lila, overwhelmed with joy and gratitude, accepted the offer. As the curator left, Lila stood in the center of her studio, her heart brimming with a sense of accomplishment. She had set her intention, taken action, and trusted in the universe to guide her path. And now her dream was unfolding before her eyes, a testament to the power of focused purpose. The exhibition was a resounding success. Lila's paintings captivated art enthusiasts and collectors alike, her unique vision resonating with those who beheld her creations. Her studio, once a quiet sanctuary, now buzzed with visitors eager to acquire her art. Lila, once a hesitant dreamer, had become a confident artist, her life a testament to the power of intention. She had learned that dreams don't just materialize out of thin air, they are woven into reality through clear purpose, focused action, and unwavering belief. And as she stood in her studio, surrounded by the vibrant tapestry of her creations, she knew that this was just the beginning. With her newfound understanding of intention, she was ready to weave even grander dreams into the fabric of her life. Chapter 6. The Alchemy of Belief. The spotlight blinded Leo, the expectant hush of the audience a palpable weight in the air. He stood backstage, guitar in hand, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. Tonight was the night, the open mic night he had been both anticipating and dreading. Leo, a young man with a voice that could melt glaciers and lyrics that painted stories on the soul, had always harbored a deep passion for music. Yet a crippling self-doubt, a legacy of past rejections and harsh critiques, had kept him hidden in the shadows, his melodies confined to the solitude of his bedroom. What if they hate it? The voice of fear whispered, its icy tendrils snaking around his confidence. What if you freeze up? What if you're just not good enough? Leo gripped his guitar tighter, his knuckles white. He had poured his heart and soul into his music, each chord a piece of himself, each lyric a whispered confession. The thought of exposing his vulnerability to the judgment of strangers sent a wave of nausea through him. Suddenly, a memory flickered in his mind. He recalled a quote from a book he had recently read: "Belief is the master key that unlocks the treasures of life. It is not mere wishful thinking, but a potent force that shapes the very fabric of your reality." Leo closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He had been working on cultivating self-belief, replacing the negative self-talk with affirmations of worthiness and confidence. He had visualized himself on stage, captivating the audience with his music, their faces reflecting the emotions his songs evoked. He had learned that belief was not just a passive state of mind, but an active force, a catalyst for manifestation. When you truly believe in something, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that belief, creating a resonance that attracts the very experiences you desire. With this newfound understanding, Leo straightened his shoulders, a spark of determination igniting in his eyes. He would not let fear dictate his actions. He would not let self-doubt dim his light. He would step onto that stage and share his music, his gift, with the world. He walked onto the stage, the spotlight illuminating his silhouette. The audience, a sea of expectant faces, seemed to hold its breath. Leo took his position, his fingers finding the familiar chords. He closed his eyes for a moment, grounding himself in the present, connecting to the belief in his own talent. Then he began to play. His voice, at first a hesitant whisper, grew in strength and confidence with each note. His lyrics, woven with raw emotion and heartfelt authenticity, painted vivid stories in the air. The audience, captivated by his performance, leaned in, their faces reflecting the emotions his music evoked. As he sang, Leo felt a sense of liberation he had never experienced before. The fear that had held him captive for so long dissipated, replaced by a wave of pure joy. He was not just performing, he was sharing his soul, his essence with the world. The final chord resonated through the room, followed by a moment of stunned silence. Then, the applause erupted, a tidal wave of appreciation that washed over Leo. He stood on the stage, bathed in the warm glow of the spotlight, his heart overflowing with gratitude. He had faced his fear, embraced his belief, and unlocked the treasure within him. His music, once confined to the shadows, now filled the room, touching the hearts of those who listened. And in that moment he knew that this was just the beginning. With the master key of belief in hand, Leo was ready to unlock even greater treasures, to share his gift with the world, and to create a life filled with music, passion, and the sweet melody of self-expression. He had learned that belief was not just a mental state, it was an alchemical force, transforming doubt into confidence, fear into courage, and dreams into reality. And as he walked off the stage, his heart soaring with newfound belief, he knew that anything was possible. Chapter 7. Riding the Cosmic Wave. Maya gripped the surfboard, the cool wax a stark contrast to her clammy palms. The waves crashed against the shore with a thunderous roar, their foamy crests gleaming like diamonds under the morning sun. Fear, a familiar undercurrent, tugged at her, whispering doubts about her ability to conquer these powerful forces of nature. Maya, a woman with a spirit as free as the ocean breeze and a heart yearning for adventure, had always been drawn to the allure of surfing. Yet a lingering insecurity, A residue of past wipeouts and near misses kept her tethered to the shallows, her dreams of riding the big waves relegated to wistful fantasies. What if I lose control? The voice of fear hissed, its insidious whispers echoing in her ears. What if I get caught in the undertow? What if I'm not strong enough? Maya hesitated, her toes digging into the sand. She had spent weeks studying the ocean's rhythm, observing the ebb and flow of the tides, the formation and break of the waves. She had visualized herself gliding effortlessly on the water, her body in perfect harmony with the ocean's powerful energy. But now, faced with the reality of the towering waves, doubt threatened to drown her courage. She recalled a passage from an ancient text: life, when aligned with the universal forces, moves with ease and grace. The river does not struggle against the rocks. It flows around them, adapting to the landscape while never losing sight of its final goal. Maya realized that she had been fighting against the current, trying to force her will upon the ocean. She had been so focused on conquering the waves that she had forgotten to surrender to their power, to flow with their rhythm. With this newfound understanding, Maya took a deep breath, releasing the tension in her shoulders. She would not fight the waves, she would dance with them. She would trust in the ocean's wisdom, allowing its energy to guide her. She paddled out, her strokes strong and determined. As she reached the lineup, a massive wave began to form, its crest towering over her like a liquid mountain. Fear threatened to resurface, but Maya pushed it aside, focusing on the rhythm of her breath, the feel of the cool water against her skin. The wave curled, its lip throwing a shadow over her. This was it, the moment of truth. Maya took a deep breath, summoning her courage, her trust in the universal flow. Then, with a powerful push, she popped up onto the board. The wave surged beneath her, its energy propelling her forward. Maya felt a rush of exhilaration, a sense of freedom she had never experienced before. She was not just riding the wave, she was one with it, her body an extension of its power. She carved through the water, her movements fluid and instinctive. The fear that had held her captive vanished, replaced by a sense of pure joy. She was not conquering the ocean, she was dancing with it, surrendering to its rhythm, trusting in its guidance. As the wave broke, Maya rode it all the way to the shore, her laughter echoing across the water. She emerged from the surf, her face radiant with triumph. She had not just ridden the wave, she had embodied the flow, the effortless movement of life in harmony with the universe. Standing on the beach, her hair dripping with seawater, Maya felt a profound sense of gratitude. She had learned that true power lies not in control, but in surrender. By aligning herself with the universal flow, she had unlocked a level of freedom and joy she had never imagined possible. And as she looked out at the endless horizon, the waves beckoning her back, she knew that this was just the beginning. She was ready to ride the cosmic wave, to embrace the adventure of life with open arms, trusting in the universe to guide her towards her destiny. Chapter 8. The Seed of Trust. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, a comforting contrast to the knot of anxiety twisting in David's stomach. He sat at his kitchen table, staring at the meticulously crafted business plan spread out before him. This was it, the culmination of months of sleepless nights, countless hours poured into research, and a lifetime of dreaming. David, a man with the vision of an eagle and the heart of a lion, had always yearned to break free from the confines of his corporate job and build something of his own. He had poured his soul into this venture, a sustainable clothing company that blended ethical practices with innovative designs. Yet, as the launch date approached, doubt, a persistent weed in the garden of his mind, threatened to choke his enthusiasm. What if it fails? It whispered, its voice a chilling reminder of past setbacks and naysayers. What if no one buys your products? What if you end up bankrupt and ridiculed? David, his hand trembling slightly, reached for his coffee mug. He had faced doubts before, but this time the stakes felt higher. He had invested his life savings, his reputation, his very identity into this venture. The fear of failure loomed large, casting a shadow over his dreams. He remembered a story from an ancient text. The path laid before you may often seem uncertain, even frightening. Yet it is precisely this path that will lead you to your greatest growth and most magnificent manifestations. David closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He had been diligently practicing the principles of manifestation, visualizing his success, setting clear intentions, and cultivating an abundance mindset. But now, faced with the leap into the unknown, the seed of doubt threatened to sprout into a forest of fear. He realized that he had been so focused on the potential pitfalls that he had forgotten to nurture the seed of trust. Trust in himself, in his abilities, in the universe's unwavering support. He had to believe that he was on the right path, that his vision was worthy, and that success, in whatever form it took, would ultimately blossom. With this renewed perspective, David straightened his spine, a quiet determination settling in his eyes. He would not let fear dictate his actions. He would not allow doubt to dim his light. He would step into the unknown with courage, trusting in the process, believing in the power of his dreams. He opened his laptop, his fingers flying across the keyboard. He finalized the website, scheduled social media posts, and sent out emails to potential investors. With each action, he felt a growing sense of empowerment. He was not just launching a business, he was planting a seed of change, a seed that would grow into a force for good in the world. The launch day arrived, a whirlwind of activity and anticipation. David, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and nervousness, watched as the first orders trickled in. Then the trickle turned into a steady stream, then a flood. His website crashed, his phone buzzed incessantly, and his inbox overflowed with messages of support and congratulations. David, overwhelmed by the response, felt tears of gratitude prick his eyes. He had faced his fears, nurtured the seed of trust, and witnessed the blossoming of his dreams. His company, once a mere concept on paper, was now a vibrant reality, a testament to the power of belief and perseverance. As he navigated the challenges of running a growing business, David never forgot the lesson he had learned. Whenever doubt crept in, he would remind himself of the seed of trust, the unwavering belief in his own potential and the universe's unwavering support. He had learned that the path to success is not always smooth, but with trust as his compass and perseverance as his guide, he could navigate any obstacle and reach his desired destination. And as he looked towards the future, his heart filled with gratitude and excitement, he knew that this was just the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Chapter 9. The Sculptor of Attention. The gentle hum of the refrigerator, the distant chatter of neighbors, the insistent chirping of a robin outside the window, all conspired to pull Isabel away from the blank page before her. She tapped her pen against the desk, her gaze flitting between the overflowing bookshelf, the enticing window view, and the half-written manuscript on her laptop. Isabel, a writer with a mind teeming with stories and a soul yearning to share them, had always struggled with the elusive art of focus. Procrastination, a cunning shapeshifter, lurked in every corner, disguised as a tempting distraction, a sudden urge to reorganize, or an irresistible craving for a snack. Just a quick peek at social media, it would whisper, its voice a siren song luring her away from the task at hand. One little episode won't hurt, it would tempt, its promises as fleeting as the dopamine rush of instant gratification. Isabel, her fingers hovering over the keyboard, felt the familiar tug of procrastination. She had a deadline looming, a story burning to be told, yet her attention, a restless butterfly, refused to be pinned down. She remembered a passage from an ancient scroll. The power of focus is akin to a sculptor's chisel. Where you direct your attention, energy flows, shaping the raw material of your thoughts into the masterpiece of your reality. Isabel closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She had been learning about the power of intention, the importance of aligning her actions with her goals. But without focus, intention was like a ship without a rudder, lost in the sea of distractions. She realized that her attention was not a fixed entity, but a muscle that could be trained, strengthened, and sculpted. She had to become the master of her own mind, the sculptor of her attention, chiseling away the distractions to reveal the masterpiece within. With this newfound determination, Isabel straightened her posture, her gaze settling on the laptop screen. She would not succumb to the allure of procrastination. She would harness the power of her focus, channeling it like a laser beam, shaping her thoughts into words, her words into stories, her stories into a legacy. She began to write, her fingers dancing across the keyboard. The world outside her window faded, the distractions losing their power. Her mind, once a scattered landscape of thoughts, became a focused stream of consciousness, flowing effortlessly onto the page. She wrote with a newfound clarity, her characters coming to life, their stories unfolding with vivid detail. The words poured out of her, fueled by the concentrated power of her attention. She was not just writing, she was creating, manifesting her inner world into tangible form. Hours passed, the sun setting and casting long shadows across the room. Isabel, oblivious to the passage of time, remained immersed in her writing, her focus unwavering, her attention a sculptor's chisel shaping her masterpiece. Finally, as the first rays of dawn painted the sky, she typed the final words, a sense of accomplishment washing over her. She had faced the demon of procrastination, harnessed the power of her focus, and emerged victorious, her manuscript a testament to her newfound mastery. She had learned that focus was not just about willpower, it was about cultivating a mindful awareness of her thoughts, gently guiding her attention back to the task at hand whenever it strayed. It was about creating a sanctuary of concentration, a space where distractions were banished and creativity could flourish. And as she closed her laptop, her heart swelling with gratitude, she knew that this was just the beginning. With the chisel of attention in her hand, she was ready to sculpt her reality, to shape her dreams into tangible form, and to leave her mark on the world, one focused word at a time. Chapter 10. The Inner Kingdom. Rain lashed against the windows, mirroring the storm raging within Elena. She paced her small apartment, the confines seeming to close in on her, each step a futile attempt to outrun the anxieties that gnawed at her. A recent layoff had shattered her carefully constructed world, leaving her adrift in a sea of uncertainty. "I'm a failure," she muttered, her voice barely a whisper above the wind's howl. "I'm not good enough. I'll never find another job." Elena, a woman who had always prided herself on her independence and competence, felt the familiar sting of self-doubt. The layoff had triggered a cascade of insecurities, each one a venomous whisper undermining her confidence. She sank onto the couch, the worn cushions offering little comfort. The apartment, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison, its walls echoing her fears. She longed for an escape, a way to silence the inner turmoil that threatened to consume her. Then, she remembered a passage from a weathered book she had found in a dusty antique shop. True power comes not from a crown or a throne, but from mastery of the inner realm. Your external world is but a reflection of your inner beliefs and thoughts. Elena closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She had been exploring the principles of manifestation, learning about the power of thoughts and intentions to shape reality. But now, faced with the harsh realities of her situation, those principles seemed distant, almost irrelevant. She realized that she had been so focused on external validation, on achieving success in the eyes of the world, that she had neglected the inner kingdom, the landscape of her own mind. She had allowed fear and self-doubt to reign supreme, their dark clouds obscuring the light of her own potential. With this newfound awareness, Elena straightened her spine, a spark of defiance igniting within her. She would not let external circumstances dictate her inner state. She would not allow fear to rule her kingdom. She would reclaim her inner power, cultivate peace and strength within, and let that inner transformation radiate outwards. She began with a simple act of mindfulness. She focused on her breath, the rise and fall of her chest, the gentle rhythm anchoring her to the present moment. She noticed the sensations in her body, the tension in her shoulders, the tightness in her jaw. With each exhale, she consciously released the tension, allowing a sense of calm to wash over her. She then turned her attention to the thoughts swirling in her mind. She acknowledged the fears and anxieties without judgment, observing them as passing clouds in the vast sky of her consciousness. She replaced the negative self-talk with affirmations of strength and resilience. I am capable. I am resourceful. I am worthy. She visualized herself navigating this challenging period with grace and determination. She saw herself acquiring new skills, exploring new opportunities, and emerging from this experience stronger and wiser. As she continued this inner work, the storm outside began to subside. The rain softened to a gentle drizzle, the wind's howl fading into a quiet murmur. Elena, her inner turmoil calmed, felt a sense of peace she had not experienced in days. She looked around her apartment, her perspective shifting. The walls no longer felt like a prison, they were the boundaries of her own inner kingdom, a space where she could cultivate strength, resilience, and unwavering self-belief. She knew that the journey ahead would not be easy. The external challenges remained, the job search loomed, and the anxieties might resurface. But now she had a powerful tool at her disposal, the mastery of her inner realm. She would face the world with a newfound confidence, her inner strength radiating outwards, attracting opportunities and experiences that aligned with her true potential. She had learned that true power lies not in external validation, but in the unwavering belief in oneself, the unshakable peace that resides within. And as she looked towards the future, her heart filled with hope and determination, she knew that she was ready to conquer any storm, both within and without. Chapter 11. The Dance of Detachment. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the quiet street. Thomas sat in his armchair, a book open on his lap, his mind drifting. He had always been a dreamer, a man who saw the world through a lens of infinite possibilities. Yet, as he grew older, a sense of disappointment crept in, a nagging feeling that his dreams had remained just that, dreams. He had spent years chasing success, climbing the corporate ladder, accumulating wealth. But despite his achievements, a sense of emptiness persisted. He had reached the pinnacle of his career, yet his heart yearned for something more, something deeper. He remembered the words of a wise old sage: true fulfillment lies not in the pursuit of external achievements, but in the cultivation of inner peace and contentment. Thomas closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He had been so focused on the external world, on the constant striving for more, that he had neglected the inner garden of his soul. He had forgotten the simple joys of life, the beauty of the present moment, the power of letting go. With this newfound awareness, Thomas resolved to embark on a journey of inner exploration. He began to practice mindfulness, focusing on the sensations of his body, the rhythm of his breath, the sounds of the world around him. He learned to observe his thoughts without judgment, to let go of the constant chatter of the mind. He also began to cultivate the art of detachment. He practiced letting go of the need to control every aspect of his life, to have everything figured out. He learned to surrender to the flow of the universe, to trust in the unfolding of events. As he delved deeper into his spiritual journey, Thomas began to experience a profound shift in his perspective. He realized that true happiness was not a destination to be reached, but a state of being to be cultivated. It was not about achieving external goals, but about aligning with the flow of life, embracing the present moment with gratitude and acceptance. He began to spend more time in nature, hiking in the mountains, meditating by the river. He found solace in the stillness of the forest, the vastness of the sky, the gentle rhythm of the earth. He felt a deep connection to the natural world, a sense of belonging to something greater than himself. As he let go of the need to control, he began to experience a sense of freedom, a lightness of being. He realized that by surrendering to the flow, he was actually gaining more control over his life. He was no longer a slave to his desires, his fears, his expectations, He was the master of his own destiny, the captain of his own ship. Thomas began to share his newfound wisdom with others, guiding them on their own journeys of self-discovery. He became a beacon of light, a source of inspiration for those seeking meaning and purpose in their lives. He had learned that the true treasure lies not in external possessions or achievements, but in the inner kingdom of the soul. It is in the quiet moments of reflection, the acts of kindness, the connections with others, and the surrender to the divine flow that we find lasting fulfillment. And as Thomas continued his journey, he knew that the adventure was just beginning. He was ready to embrace the unknown, to trust in the unfolding of life, and to dance with the universe one step at a time. Chapter 12. The Mountain Whisperer. The wind whipped at Sophia's face, carrying with it the scent of pine needles and the faint echo of a distant hawk's cry. She stood at the base of Mount Katahdin, its peak shrouded in mist, its imposing presence a stark contrast to the rolling hills she was accustomed to. This was it, the culmination of months of preparation, the day she would attempt to summit the highest peak in Maine. Sophia, a woman with a spirit as resilient as the mountain oak and a heart filled with a yearning for adventure, had always been drawn to the challenge of the climb. Yet, as she gazed at the daunting peak, a familiar wave of self-doubt washed over her. What if I'm not strong enough? The voice of fear whispered, its insidious tendrils wrapping around her confidence. What if the weather turns? What if I can't make it to the top? Sophia, her backpack heavy with supplies, felt the weight of her anxieties. She had trained diligently, her body conditioned for the arduous climb. But the mountain, with its unpredictable terrain and unforgiving weather, loomed like a formidable obstacle, a test of her physical and mental endurance. She recalled a passage from a worn journal she had found tucked away in her grandmother's attic. The obstacles in your life are not permanent blocks, they are invitations to find creative solutions, to grow beyond your perceived limitations. Sophia closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She had been studying the principles of manifestation, learning about the power of thoughts and intentions to shape reality. But now, faced with the tangible challenge of the mountain, those principles seemed to fade in the face of the imposing physical reality. She realized that she had been approaching the climb with a mindset of fear, focusing on the potential dangers and her own perceived limitations. She had to shift her perspective, to see the mountain not as an adversary, but as a teacher, a guide on her journey of self-discovery. With this renewed mindset, Sophia adjusted her backpack, her gaze fixed on the summit. She would not let fear dictate her actions. She would not allow doubt to cloud her vision. She would embrace the challenge, trust in her abilities, and allow the mountain to guide her towards her highest potential. She began the ascent, her footsteps steady and determined. The trail wound through dense forests, over rocky terrain, and across gurgling streams. With each step, Sophia felt a growing sense of connection to the mountain, its energy pulsating through her veins. As she climbed higher, the air grew thinner, the wind colder. Fatigue began to set in, her muscles aching, her breath growing ragged. But Sophia persevered, fueled by her inner strength and the unwavering belief in her ability to reach the summit. She encountered fellow hikers along the way, some struggling, some filled with exhilaration. She offered words of encouragement, shared stories, and forged connections in the shared pursuit of the summit. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the mountainside, Sophia reached the final stretch. The peak, once shrouded in mist, now stood before her, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. A wave of emotion washed over her, a mix of triumph, gratitude, and awe. She took the final steps, her heart pounding with anticipation. And then, she stood on the summit. The world spread out before her like a tapestry of breathtaking beauty. The wind whipped at her face, carrying with it a sense of freedom and accomplishment. Sophia had conquered not just the mountain, but the doubts and fears that had held her back. She had learned that obstacles are not meant to be avoided, but embraced. They are opportunities for growth, for self-discovery, for the expansion of one's limits. And as she stood on the summit, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, Sophia knew that this was just the beginning. She was ready to face any mountain, any challenge, with the unwavering belief in her own strength and the trust in the universe's unwavering support. Chapter 13. The Dance of Detachment. The soft glow of the bedside lamp illuminated the room, casting long shadows on the wall. Anya lay awake, her mind racing with a whirlwind of thoughts and anxieties. Tomorrow was the big day, the day she would finally face her fears and step onto the stage to perform in front of a live audience. Anya, a singer with a voice as pure as a mountain stream, had always been passionate about music. Yet the fear of judgment, the dread of failure, had held her back, confining her talent to the privacy of her bedroom. She had spent months practicing, honing her craft, but the closer the performance date drew, the more her anxiety grew. What if I forget the lyrics? The voice of fear whispered. What if I sound terrible? What if everyone laughs at me? Anya closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She had been studying the principles of manifestation, learning about the power of thoughts and intentions to shape reality. But now, faced with the daunting prospect of performing on stage, those principles seemed to fade into the background. She realized that she had been clinging to the outcome, fixating on the possibility of failure. She had forgotten the joy of the process, the simple pleasure of sharing her music with others. She had to let go of the need to control the outcome, to trust in the unfolding of the performance. With this newfound perspective, Anya shifted her focus. She began to visualize herself on stage, her voice soaring, the audience captivated by her performance. She imagined the feeling of joy, the sense of accomplishment, the gratitude for the opportunity to share her music with the world. She also practiced the art of detachment. She understood that the outcome was not entirely within her control. There were countless variables that could influence the performance, from technical difficulties to the mood of the audience. She could not control these factors, so she would focus on what she could control: her preparation, her attitude, her mindset. As she drifted off to sleep, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She had faced her fears, embraced her vulnerability, and trusted in the power of the present moment. She would step onto the stage, not as a performer seeking validation, but as an artist sharing her gift with the world. The next day, as she stood backstage, the stage lights blinding her, Anya felt a familiar surge of anxiety. But she remembered the lessons she had learned. She took a deep breath, grounding herself in the present moment. She visualized the audience, their faces open and receptive, their hearts ready to be touched by her music. Then she stepped onto the stage. The spotlight hit her, the audience's gaze fixed on her. For a moment, the fear threatened to consume her. But she took a deep breath, her voice a beacon of courage cutting through the darkness. She began to sing, her voice pouring out of her, raw and authentic. The music flowed through her, a conduit of emotion, a bridge between her soul and the audience. She sang with passion, with vulnerability, with the unwavering belief that her music had the power to touch hearts and transform lives. As the song ended, the applause erupted, a thunderous wave of affirmation that washed over her. Anya, her heart overflowing with gratitude, bowed to the audience, her eyes sparkling with tears of joy and relief. She had faced her fear, conquered her doubt, and shared her gift with the world. She had learned that true fulfillment lies not in the pursuit of perfection, but in the courage to be authentic, to share one's unique voice with the world. And as she walked off the stage, her heart filled with a sense of peace and purpose, she knew that this was just the beginning. She was ready to embrace the future, to face any challenge, to share her music with the world, her voice a beacon of hope, her spirit a testament to the power of human potential. Chapter 14. The Lion Within. The rumble of thunder echoed through the valley, mirroring the turmoil in Noah's heart. He sat on the porch of his rustic cabin. the rain drumming a relentless rhythm on the tin roof. He had always felt a deep connection to nature, finding solace in its wild embrace. But today, the storm seemed to amplify the anxieties that gnawed at him. Noah, a man with a spirit as untamed as the mountain winds and a heart yearning for authenticity, had spent years trying to fit into a mold that never quite suited him. He had pursued a career in finance to please his parents, suppressing his true passion for art. He had adopted the persona of a confident, ambitious young man, hiding his vulnerability and sensitivity behind a carefully constructed facade. But the charade had become exhausting. The constant pressure to conform, to meet the expectations of others, had left him feeling hollow, disconnected from his true self. He longed to break free, to shed the mask he had been wearing, to embrace his authentic self. He recalled a passage from an old leather-bound book he had discovered in a forgotten corner of a used bookstore. Trust in your true nature, in the divine spark that resides within you. Your journey of self-discovery and manifestation begins with embracing your authentic self. Noah closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He had been exploring the principles of manifestation, learning about the power of thoughts and intentions to shape reality. But now, faced with the internal conflict between his true self and the persona he had created, those principles seemed to lose their potency. He realized that he had been living a lie, denying his true nature to appease the expectations of others. He had been so focused on external validation that he had lost sight of his own inner compass. He had to reclaim his authenticity, to embrace his vulnerability, to unleash the lion within. With this newfound resolve, Noah stood up, his gaze fixed on the storm raging outside. He would no longer hide in the shadows of conformity. He would not allow fear to dictate his actions. He would step into the light, roaring with the strength of his true self. He began by acknowledging the parts of himself he had been suppressing. He admitted his passion for art, his sensitivity, his yearning for deeper connection. He embraced his vulnerability, recognizing it not as a weakness, but as a source of strength and authenticity. He started painting again, his brushstrokes bold and expressive, his canvases filled with the vibrant colors of his soul. He sought out like-minded individuals, connecting with fellow artists, sharing his vulnerabilities and dreams. He began to express himself more freely, his words and actions reflecting his true nature. As he embraced his authenticity, a sense of liberation washed over him. The weight of expectations lifted, replaced by a lightness of being. He felt a deep connection to himself, a sense of wholeness he had never experienced before. The world around him seemed to respond to his transformation. People were drawn to his genuine spirit, his authenticity a beacon of light in a world often masked in pretense. Opportunities arose that aligned with his true passions, his art gaining recognition, his connections deepening. Noah had learned that true power lies not in conforming to external expectations, but in embracing one's authentic self. It is in the vulnerability, the sensitivity, the unique expression of one's soul that we find true strength and fulfillment. And as he stood on his porch, the storm now subsided, a rainbow arcing across the sky, Noah knew that this was just the beginning. He was ready to face the world with his whole heart, his authentic self a beacon of light, his spirit a testament to the power of embracing one's true nature. Chapter 15. The Gardener of Patience. The scent of damp earth filled the air, mingling with the sweet perfume of jasmine and honeysuckle. Amelia knelt in her garden, her fingers gently tracing the delicate leaves of a newly sprouted sunflower. A sense of anticipation mingled with a hint of impatience stirred within her. Amelia, a woman with a spirit as vibrant as the wildflowers she cultivated and a heart yearning for growth, had always found solace in her garden. It was her sanctuary, a place where she could connect with the rhythms of nature, nurture life, and witness the miracle of transformation. She had planted the sunflower seeds weeks ago, carefully tending to the soil, watering them diligently, and eagerly awaiting the first signs of growth. But as days turned into weeks, and the seedlings remained stubbornly hidden beneath the surface, a familiar impatience began to creep in. Why aren't they growing? She wondered, her brow furrowed with concern. Did I do something wrong? Are they ever going to sprout? Amelia, her fingers gently probing the soil, felt the familiar tug of doubt. She had been studying the principles of manifestation, learning about the power of thoughts and intentions to shape reality. But now, faced with the seemingly dormant sunflower seeds, those principles seemed to falter in the face of nature's unpredictable timeline. She recalled a passage from a weathered book she had discovered tucked away in a hidden corner of the library. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active trust. It is the unwavering belief that growth is occurring, even when it is invisible to the naked eye. Amelia closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She realized that she had been fixated on the visible outcome, on the moment the sunflowers would finally burst forth in their golden glory. She had forgotten the unseen process, the quiet growth happening beneath the surface, the roots reaching deep into the earth, gathering strength for the eventual ascent. With this newfound understanding, Amelia relaxed her grip on the soil, her gaze softening. She would not force the sunflowers to grow, she would trust in their inherent wisdom, in the natural rhythm of life. She would nurture them with patience, water them with love, and believe in their potential to blossom in their own time. She continued to tend to her garden, her movements gentle and deliberate. She weeded the unwanted plants, loosened the soil, and whispered words of encouragement to the hidden seedlings. She focused on the present moment, the feel of the cool earth between her fingers, the scent of the blooming flowers, the symphony of birdsong filling the air. Days turned into weeks, and still the sunflowers remained hidden. But Amelia, her heart filled with trust, continued to nurture them, her patience a testament to her unwavering belief in the unseen process. Then one morning, as the sun painted the sky with hues of gold and rose, she noticed a subtle shift in the soil. A tiny green shoot had emerged, its delicate leaves reaching towards the light. A wave of joy washed over Amelia, a mixture of pride and gratitude. The sunflower had sprouted, not because she had forced it, but because she had trusted in the process, in the natural unfolding of life. She had learned that patience is not about passive waiting, but about active nurturing, about unwavering belief in the unseen growth happening beneath the surface. And as she watched the sunflower stretch towards the sun, its golden head a beacon of hope and resilience, Amelia knew that this was just the beginning. She was ready to face any challenge, to nurture any dream, with the unwavering patience of a gardener, trusting in the timing of the universe, believing in the power of unseen growth. Chapter 16. The Dragon Tamer. The flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls of the ancient library, illuminating rows upon rows of leather-bound books. Ethan sat at a weathered oak table, his brow furrowed in concentration as he deciphered the faded script of an ancient manuscript. He had always been drawn to the mysteries of the past, seeking wisdom in the echoes of forgotten civilizations. Ethan, a man with a thirst for knowledge and a spirit yearning for enlightenment, had spent years studying the principles of manifestation, delving into the intricate workings of the universe. He had learned about the power of thoughts, the importance of intentions, and the art of aligning with the universal flow. Yet, despite his intellectual understanding, a deep-seated fear lingered within him, a fear of failure, of not being good enough, of his dreams remaining forever out of reach. This fear, like a dragon guarding a treasure trove of potential, had held him back, preventing him from fully embracing his power and manifesting his desires. He recalled a passage from a time-worn scroll he had discovered during his travels. The dragons of your mind are not your enemies, they are the guardians of your greatest potential, waiting for you to be brave enough to understand and embrace them. Ethan closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He realized that he had been avoiding his fear, trying to suppress it, to banish it from his consciousness. But the dragon of fear, like all shadows, only grew larger in the darkness. He had to face it, to acknowledge it, to understand its origins and its purpose. With this newfound courage, Ethan turned his attention inwards, exploring the labyrinth of his own mind. He traced the roots of his fear, uncovering childhood experiences, past failures, and limiting beliefs that had fueled its growth. He saw how this fear had held him back, preventing him from taking risks, from pursuing his dreams, from fully expressing his authentic self. But as he delved deeper, he also recognized the protective nature of the fear. It had served him in the past, shielding him from potential harm, keeping him safe within his comfort zone. He began to see it not as an enemy, but as a guardian, a part of himself that needed to be acknowledged and understood. With this compassionate awareness, Ethan began to reframe his relationship with fear. He practiced mindfulness, observing the fear without judgment, allowing it to surface without resistance. He learned to identify the triggers that ignited the fear response, recognizing the patterns of thought and emotion that fueled its flames. He also began to cultivate self-compassion, speaking to himself with kindness and understanding, acknowledging his past struggles and celebrating his resilience. He replaced the negative self-talk with affirmations of courage and self-worth, reminding himself of his inherent strength and potential. As he continued this inner work, the dragon of fear began to transform. Its fiery breath softened, its sharp claws retracted, its imposing presence becoming less threatening. Ethan, no longer intimidated, approached the dragon with curiosity and compassion. He engaged in a dialogue with his fear, asking it questions, listening to its concerns, acknowledging its protective intentions. He thanked the dragon for its service, for keeping him safe, for guiding him towards growth. And as he embraced his fear, its grip loosened, its power diminished. The treasure it had been guarding, his confidence, his creativity, his authentic self, began to emerge, shining brightly in the light of his self-awareness. Ethan had learned that the dragons of our minds are not meant to be slain, but tamed. They are not enemies to be feared, but allies to be embraced. They hold the keys to our greatest potential, waiting for us to be brave enough to face them, to understand them, and to integrate them into the wholeness of our being. And as he emerged from the library, the first rays of dawn illuminating the sky, Ethan knew that he was no longer a captive of his fears. He was the dragon tamer, the master of his own mind, ready to embrace the world with courage, authenticity, and the unwavering belief in his own limitless potential. Chapter 17. The Flow Dancer. The rhythmic beat of the music pulsed through the studio, vibrating in every fiber of Isabella's being. She moved with a fluidity that defied gravity, her body a vessel of expression, her spirit soaring on the wings of the melody. Sweat glistened on her forehead, not from exertion, but from the sheer joy of movement, the liberation of surrendering to the rhythm. Isabella, a dancer with the grace of a willow in the wind, and a passion that ignited the stage, had always found solace in dance. It was her sanctuary, a place where she could shed the constraints of the world and express the symphony of emotions within her. Yet lately a sense of frustration had crept into her practice. She had become fixated on perfection, on executing each step with flawless precision. The joy of movement had been replaced by a relentless pursuit of technical mastery, her inner critic whispering doubts about her abilities. "Your lines aren't clean enough," it hissed, its voice a harsh judge scrutinizing her every move. "Your turns lack precision. You'll never be a truly great dancer." Isabella, her muscles tense with self-criticism, felt the joy draining from her dance. She had been so focused on achieving external validation, on meeting the standards of the dance world, that she had forgotten the essence of dance itself, the freedom of expression, the connection to the rhythm, the surrender to the flow. She recalled a passage from a worn book she had discovered in a hidden corner of a vintage bookstore. True mastery in life comes from dancing with the universe's rhythm, not controlling every move. As you surrender and flow, what you seek may come to you with surprising ease. Isabella closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She realized that she had been resisting the flow, trying to impose her will on the dance. She had to let go of the need for control, to trust in the rhythm, to surrender to the music's guidance. With this renewed awareness, Isabella began to move again, this time with a different intention. She focused on the feeling of the music coursing through her veins, the beat resonating in her heart. She allowed her body to become an instrument, a vessel for the music's expression. She danced with abandon, her movements fluid and instinctive, her spirit soaring on the wings of the melody. The self-criticism faded, replaced by a sense of liberation, a joy that radiated from her every step, every turn, every leap. She felt a deep connection to the music, to the rhythm of the universe, to the flow of life itself. She was not just dancing, she was embodying the dance, becoming one with the music, surrendering to the current of creativity. As the music swelled, Isabella's movements became more expansive, more expressive. She danced with a passion that ignited the stage, her spirit shining through every gesture. The doubts that had plagued her vanished, replaced by a sense of confidence, a trust in her own innate ability to express the music's essence. When the final note faded, Isabella stood still, her body bathed in a gentle glow. A sense of peace and fulfillment washed over her. She had not just danced, she had surrendered to the dance, allowing the flow to guide her, trusting in the rhythm of the universe. She had learned that true mastery lies not in rigid control, but in effortless surrender. It is in the letting go, the trusting, the flowing that we find true freedom and expression. And as she left the studio, her heart filled with gratitude and joy, Isabella knew that she would carry this lesson with her, not just in her dance, but in every aspect of her life. She would embrace the flow, trust in the rhythm, and dance through life with grace, passion, and an unwavering belief in the power of surrender. Chapter 18. The Abundance Weaver. The aroma of cinnamon and cloves filled the air, mingling with the sweet scent of freshly baked bread. Olivia stood in her cozy kitchen, her hands dusted with flour, a warm smile gracing her lips. She had always found joy in baking, in the alchemy of transforming simple ingredients into culinary delights. Olivia, a woman with a heart as warm as her oven, and a spirit as generous as her freshly baked creations, had always believed in the abundance of life. She saw the world through a lens of gratitude, appreciating the small joys, the simple blessings, the overflowing generosity of the universe. Yet lately a sense of scarcity had crept into her thoughts. The news was filled with stories of economic downturn, rising prices, and widespread layoffs. Fear, like a persistent weed, threatened to choke the garden of her abundance mindset. What if I lose my job? The voice of anxiety whispered, its insidious tendrils wrapping around her confidence. What if I can't afford to keep up with the rising costs? What if there's not enough to go around? Olivia, her hands kneading the dough, felt the familiar tightness in her chest. She had been diligently practicing the principles of manifestation, visualizing her desires, setting clear intentions, and cultivating gratitude. But the external circumstances, the looming threat of scarcity, seemed to cast a shadow over her abundance mindset. She recalled a passage from a weathered book she had discovered in a forgotten corner of a used bookstore. Abundance is not about hoarding, it is about flowing. Energy must circulate freely to grow and multiply. When you give, you open yourself to receive. Olivia paused, her hands stilling on the dough. She realized that she had been focusing on the fear of lack, on the potential for loss. She had forgotten the power of giving, the joy of sharing, the abundance that flows from generosity. With this renewed awareness, Olivia decided to shift her focus. She would not succumb to the fear of scarcity. She would embrace the abundance that surrounded her, the generosity that flowed through her. She began by baking an extra loaf of bread, her heart filled with the intention of sharing it with a neighbor who was struggling. She visualized the joy on her neighbor's face, the warmth of connection, the the ripple effect of kindness. She also started practicing gratitude more intentionally. She took time each day to appreciate the blessings in her life, the roof over her head, the food on her table, the love of her family and friends. She focused on the abundance that already existed, the overflowing generosity of the universe. As she continued this practice, the fear of scarcity began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of trust and confidence in the abundance of life. She saw opportunities for generosity everywhere, from donating to local charities to volunteering her time at a community garden. She also noticed a shift in her own circumstances. Unexpected opportunities arose, her finances flowed more freely, and her relationships deepened with the warmth of shared generosity. Olivia had learned that abundance is not a finite resource to be hoarded. It is an infinite energy that expands with sharing. It is not about accumulating material possessions, but about cultivating a mindset of gratitude, generosity, and trust in the universe's unwavering support. And as she placed the freshly baked bread on her neighbor's doorstep, a smile blooming on her face, Olivia knew that she was not just sharing a loaf of bread, she was weaving a tapestry of abundance, a web of generosity that would ripple outwards, touching countless lives and creating a world where everyone felt the warmth of shared prosperity. Chapter 19. The Art of Surrender. The scent of lavender and chamomile filled the air, a calming balm to the tension that knotted Michael's shoulders. He sat on his meditation cushion, the soft glow of the salt lamp casting a warm aura around him. He had always been a man of action, a driven entrepreneur who thrived on challenges and conquered obstacles with relentless determination. Michael, a visionary with a mind that sparked with innovative ideas and a heart that yearned to make a difference, had built a successful tech company from the ground up. His days were filled with meetings, deadlines, and the constant pressure to stay ahead in the fast-paced world of technology. Yet, despite his outward success, a growing sense of unease stirred within him. The relentless pursuit of achievement had left him feeling disconnected from himself, from his loved ones, from the simple joys of life. He longed for a sense of peace, a deeper connection to something beyond the material world. He recalled a passage from an ancient text he had stumbled upon during a retreat. The universe operates on principles that may seem counterintuitive to the untrained eye. Attachment to outcomes creates tension, a resistance that blocks the natural flow of energy. But when you surrender, when you trust in the greater plan, you align yourself with the cosmic currents that carry you effortlessly toward your destiny. Michael closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He realized that he had been clinging tightly to his vision, his plans, his expectations for the future. He had been so focused on controlling every aspect of his company, on dictating the outcome, that he had forgotten the power of surrender, the wisdom of letting go. With this newfound awareness, Michael decided to embark on a journey of letting go. He began by practicing mindfulness, bringing his attention to the present moment, observing his thoughts and emotions without judgment. He learned to recognize the subtle signs of tension in his body, the tightness in his chest, the clenching of his jaw, and to consciously release them. He also started delegating more responsibilities at work, trusting his team to handle tasks that he had previously micromanaged. He created space in his schedule for activities that brought him joy and rejuvenation, spending time in nature, reconnecting with loved ones, and exploring his creative passions. As he practiced the art of surrender, Michael began to experience a profound shift in his perspective. He realized that by letting go of the need to control, he was actually gaining more control over his life. He was no longer a slave to his ambitions, his anxieties, his relentless pursuit of achievement. He was the master of his own destiny, choosing to align with the flow of the universe, trusting in the wisdom of the greater plan. He began to see challenges not as obstacles to be overcome, but as opportunities for growth and learning. He embraced uncertainty, recognizing it as a catalyst for creativity and innovation. He found joy in the process, in the journey itself, rather than fixating solely on the destination. As he surrendered to the flow, Michael noticed a remarkable shift in his company's performance. His team, empowered by his trust and autonomy, became more engaged and productive. New ideas flowed freely, collaborations flourished, and the company thrived with a renewed sense of purpose and creativity. Michael had learned that true success lies not in forcing outcomes, but in aligning with the natural rhythm of the universe. It is in the letting go, the trusting, the surrendering that we open ourselves to infinite possibilities and allow the magic of life to unfold. And as he sat in his meditation room, a sense of peace radiating through him, Michael knew that he had found a deeper meaning, a more fulfilling path. He was no longer just a driven entrepreneur, he was a conscious creator, a master of surrender, dancing with the universe, one step at a time. Chapter 20. The Gratitude Alchemist. The golden rays of the morning sun streamed through the window, painting the room in a warm, inviting glow. Sophia sat at her desk, a steaming cup of tea warming her hands, a journal opened before her. She had always been a woman of deep reflection, finding solace in the quiet moments of introspection. Sophia, a writer with a soul that resonated with the whispers of the universe and a heart that overflowed with gratitude, had cultivated a life filled with simple joys and meaningful connections. She found beauty in the everyday, from the vibrant hues of a sunrise to the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Yet lately, a sense of discontent had crept into her thoughts. The world seemed to be spinning faster, the demands of daily life pulling her in countless directions. She felt overwhelmed by the constant stream of information, the pressure to achieve, the fear of missing out. Am I doing enough? The voice of self-doubt whispered, its insidious tendrils wrapping around her contentment. Am I making the most of my time? Am I living a truly meaningful life? Sophia, her pen hovering over the blank page, felt the familiar weight of societal expectations. She had been diligently practicing the principles of manifestation, visualizing her desires, setting clear intentions, and aligning with the universal flow. But the external pressures, the constant bombardment of shoulds and musts seemed to dim the light of her inner peace. She recalled a passage from a weathered book she had discovered in a forgotten corner of a local library. Gratitude is the seed from which abundance grows. When you cultivate a spirit of thankfulness, you align yourself with the very frequency of prosperity and joy. Like a magnet, your grateful heart draws forth more reasons to be thankful. Sophia closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She realized that she had been focusing on what was lacking, on the perceived gaps between her current reality and her ideal life. She had forgotten the abundance that already surrounded her, the countless blessings that filled her days. With this renewed awareness, Sophia picked up her pen, her heart filled with intention. She would not succumb to the whispers of discontent. She would embrace the power of gratitude, the alchemy of transforming ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. She began by listing the things she was grateful for, her pen flowing across the page with newfound ease. She expressed gratitude for the warmth of the sun on her skin, the gentle breeze rustling through the leaves, the comforting sound of birdsong filling the air. She wrote about the people she cherished, her family, her friends, her mentors, each one a precious gift in her life. She expressed gratitude for the opportunities she had been given, the challenges she had overcome, the lessons she had learned. As she wrote, a sense of peace washed over her, a deep contentment settling in her heart. She realized that gratitude was not just a fleeting emotion, it was a powerful force, a lens through which she could transform her perception of the world. She began to notice the beauty in the mundane, the extraordinary in the ordinary. A simple cup of tea became a ritual of self-care, a moment to savor the aroma, the warmth, the quiet stillness. A walk in nature became an opportunity to connect with the earth, to marvel at the intricate details of leaves and flowers, to breathe in the fresh air with gratitude. As she cultivated this practice of gratitude, Sophia noticed a remarkable shift in her life. The anxieties that had plagued her faded, replaced by a sense of serenity and joy. She felt more connected to herself, to others, to the world around her. She also noticed an increase in synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seemed to orchestrate themselves with perfect timing. Opportunities arose effortlessly, relationships deepened with authenticity, and her creativity flowed with renewed inspiration. Sophia had learned that gratitude is not just a polite gesture, it is a transformative practice, an alchemical process that turns ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. It is a key that unlocks the abundance of the universe, a magnet that attracts joy, love, and fulfillment. And as she closed her journal, a smile illuminating her face, Sophia knew that she would continue to cultivate this practice, to weave gratitude into the fabric of her life, transforming every moment into a symphony of appreciation and joy. Chapter 21. The Alchemist's Secret. The soft glow of the moon illuminated the ancient library, casting an ethereal glow upon the countless volumes that lined the shelves. Alistair sat at a weathered oak desk, a quill pen poised in his hand, his gaze fixed upon a weathered manuscript. He had always been fascinated by the hidden truths, the ancient wisdom that lay dormant within the pages of these forgotten texts. Alistair, a scholar with a mind that delved into the depths of knowledge and a spirit yearning for enlightenment, had dedicated his life to uncovering the secrets of the universe. He had studied the works of philosophers, mystics, and alchemists, searching for the key to unlocking the mysteries of existence. Yet, despite his extensive knowledge and intellectual pursuits, a sense of dissatisfaction lingered within him. He had amassed a wealth of information, but he felt disconnected from the deeper truths, the spiritual essence that lay beneath the surface of the physical world. He recalled a passage from an ancient text he had discovered in a hidden chamber within the library. The true alchemist does not transmute lead into gold. They transmute their own consciousness, transforming darkness into light, fear into love, limitation into infinite possibility. Alistair closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He realized that his pursuit of knowledge had become a distraction, a way to avoid the deeper questions of existence. He had focused on the external, on acquiring information, rather than on the internal, on cultivating wisdom. With this newfound awareness, Alistair shifted his focus. He began to practice meditation, to still the mind, to connect with the silence within. He explored the power of visualization, imagining himself as a beacon of light, a source of love and compassion for all beings. He also began to practice the art of gratitude, acknowledging the abundance in his life, the simple joys, the countless blessings that surrounded him. He expressed gratitude for the opportunity to learn, to grow, to contribute to the world in his own unique way. As he delved deeper into these practices, Alistair began to experience a profound transformation. The veil of illusion lifted, revealing the interconnectedness of all things, the unity that underlies the diversity of form. He felt a sense of peace, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose that transcended the limitations of his individual self. He realized that the true alchemy was not about transmuting matter, it was about transmuting consciousness. It was about transforming fear into courage, doubt into faith, limitation into infinite possibility. It was about awakening to the divine spark within, the source of all creation. Alistair began to share his newfound wisdom with others, teaching them the principles of manifestation, the power of intention, the art of conscious creation. He became a beacon of light, a guide for those seeking to unlock their own potential, to live a life of meaning and purpose. He had learned that the true treasure lies not in the accumulation of knowledge, but in the cultivation of wisdom, in the transformation of consciousness. It is in the silence, in the stillness, in the connection to the divine that we find the answers to life's greatest mysteries. And as Alistair sat in the quiet library, the moonlight casting its ethereal glow upon the ancient texts, he knew that his journey had just begun. He was ready to explore the depths of his soul, to unlock the secrets of the universe, to become the alchemist of his own destiny. Chapter 22. The Symphony of Synchronicity. The vibrant hues of the sunset painted the sky in a breathtaking masterpiece, a symphony of colors that mirrored the harmony blossoming within Amelia. She strolled along the beach, the soft sand cushioning her footsteps, the gentle rhythm of the waves washing away the remnants of the day's stresses. Amelia, a woman with a spirit as free as the seabirds soaring above and a heart attuned to the whispers of the universe, had always been drawn to the magic of synchronicity. She saw the world through a lens of interconnectedness, recognizing the subtle dance of coincidence and meaning that unfolded in her life. She had been diligently practicing the principles of manifestation, visualizing her desires, setting clear intentions, and aligning with the universal flow. And as she deepened her practice, she noticed a remarkable increase in synchronicities, those seemingly coincidental events that carried a profound sense of significance. She recalled a passage from a worn journal she had discovered tucked away in her grandmother's attic. The universe speaks to you through the language of synchronicity. These meaningful coincidences are not mere chance, but divine signposts guiding you towards your highest path. Amelia paused, her gaze drawn to a seashell glistening in the fading light. She picked it up, its intricate patterns a testament to the artistry of nature. She had been contemplating a career change, a shift from the corporate world to a more fulfilling path that aligned with her passion for environmental conservation. Just that morning, she had stumbled upon an article about a local organization dedicated to protecting marine life. The article had resonated deeply with her, sparking a sense of excitement and possibility. And now here she was, holding a seashell, a symbol of the ocean, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. She recognized this synchronicity as a gentle nudge from the universe, a confirmation that she was on the right path. A wave of gratitude washed over her, a deep appreciation for the subtle guidance that was always available, if only she paid attention. As she continued her walk, another synchronicity unfolded. A woman approached her, her face illuminated by a warm smile. They struck up a conversation, and Amelia was surprised to learn that the woman was a marine biologist working for the very organization she had read about that morning. The woman shared her passion for ocean conservation, her enthusiasm contagious. She spoke about the organization's upcoming projects, the opportunities for volunteers, the impact they were making in protecting marine life. Amelia's heart swelled with excitement. This was more than just a coincidence, it was a clear sign from the universe, a doorway opening to a path that aligned with her deepest values and aspirations. She exchanged contact information with the woman, promising to get in touch soon. As she continued her walk, Amelia felt a sense of clarity and purpose she had not experienced in years. The synchronicities had illuminated her path, confirming her intuition, guiding her towards her true calling. She had learned that the universe communicates in whispers, in subtle nudges, in meaningful coincidences. It is through these synchronicities that we receive guidance, confirmation, and support on our journey. And as she watched the moon rise over the horizon, casting its silvery glow upon the ocean, Amelia knew that she was not alone. The universe was conspiring in her favor, orchestrating a symphony of synchronicities to guide her towards her highest destiny. Chapter 23. The Rule Breaker. The vibrant energy of the city pulsed around Daniel, a symphony of sights and sounds that mirrored the creative ferment within him. He navigated the bustling streets with a confident stride, his mind buzzing with ideas, his heart filled with a newfound sense of purpose. Daniel, a young man with a spirit as vibrant as the graffiti art adorning the alley walls and a soul that yearned to break free from the confines of convention, had always felt like an outsider. He saw the world through a different lens, questioning the established norms, challenging the status quo. He had spent years trying to fit in, to conform to the expectations of his family and society. He had pursued a traditional career path, suppressing his artistic inclinations, his passion for photography, his desire to capture the raw beauty of the world through his unique perspective. But the more he tried to conform, the more stifled he felt. The rigid structures, the unspoken rules, the pressure to follow the well-trodden path, it all felt suffocating, a betrayal of his authentic self. He recalled a passage from a dog-eared book he had found in a hidden corner of a vintage bookstore. The rules that govern your existence are not set in stone, they are malleable, waiting for you to reshape them according to your highest aspirations. You are the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. Daniel paused, leaning against a weathered brick wall, his gaze drawn to a vibrant mural depicting a phoenix rising from the ashes. He realized that he had been living by rules that were not his own, rules that had been imposed upon him by a society that valued conformity over individuality. With this newfound awareness, a spark of rebellion ignited within him. He would no longer play by the rules, he would rewrite them, create his own path, embrace his unique vision. He began by acknowledging his passions, his dreams, the desires he had suppressed for so long. He dusted off his old camera, its familiar weight, a comforting reminder of his true calling. He enrolled in a photography class, immersing himself in the technical aspects of the craft, honing his skills, and refining his artistic eye. He explored the city with a newfound curiosity, his camera capturing the hidden beauty of the urban landscape, the interplay of light and shadow, the raw emotions etched on the faces of its inhabitants. He sought out unconventional perspectives, challenging the traditional notions of beauty, capturing the essence of the city's soul through his unique lens. As he embraced his artistic expression, a sense of liberation washed over him. The weight of expectations lifted, replaced by a lightness of being. He felt a deep connection to his creativity, a sense of purpose that resonated with every click of the shutter, every image captured. His photographs began to attract attention, their raw authenticity and unique perspective capturing the hearts and minds of those who beheld them. He held exhibitions in unconventional spaces, transforming abandoned warehouses and forgotten alleyways into galleries of artistic expression. Daniel had learned that true freedom lies not in following the rules, but in creating them. It is in the breaking of the mold, the challenging of the status quo, the embracing of one's unique vision that we find true fulfillment and self-expression. And as he stood amidst his photographs, their vibrant colors and raw emotions illuminating the space, Daniel knew that he had found his true calling. He was no longer just a rule breaker, he was a rule maker, a creator of his own reality, a visionary who dared to challenge the conventional and embrace the extraordinary. Chapter 24. The Infinite Game. The gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming wisteria, a sweet fragrance that mingled with the salty tang of the ocean air. Ethan stood on the weathered deck of his sailboat, the vast expanse of the Pacific stretching before him like an endless canvas of possibilities. He had always been drawn to the sea, its boundless horizon a mirror to the limitless potential he sensed within himself. Ethan, a man with a spirit as adventurous as the seafaring explorers of old and a heart filled with an insatiable curiosity, had spent years navigating the intricate currents of life. He had faced storms and calm seas, moments of triumph and periods of profound introspection. He had delved into the depths of ancient wisdom, unlocking the secrets of manifestation, harnessing the power of his thoughts and intentions to shape his reality. He had learned to dance with the universe, to surrender to the flow, to trust in the unfolding of his journey. Yet, as he gazed at the horizon, a sense of anticipation mingled with a hint of melancholy stirred within him. He had achieved many of his goals, manifested his dreams, and experienced a profound sense of fulfillment. But a question lingered in the back of his mind: what now? He recalled a passage from a weathered scroll he had discovered during his travels. The game of life never truly ends. Each dawn brings with it fresh challenges, new lessons to be learned, and opportunities to play at even higher levels. True mastery is not a final destination, but an ever-unfolding journey. Ethan closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He realized that he had been viewing life as a finite game, with a clear beginning and an end goal to be achieved. But the true nature of life was an infinite game, a continuous journey of growth, expansion, and self-discovery. With this renewed perspective, Ethan felt a surge of excitement. The horizon no longer represented an endpoint, but a gateway to endless possibilities. Each wave that crashed against his boat was an invitation to navigate new challenges, to explore uncharted territories, to deepen his understanding of the universe and his place within it. He embraced the uncertainty of the future, recognizing it as a catalyst for growth and adventure. He saw each day as a new opportunity to learn, to create, to connect with others, and to contribute to the world in his own unique way. He continued to cultivate his spiritual practices, deepening his meditation, refining his visualizations, and expressing gratitude for the abundance that surrounded him. He sought out new experiences, challenged himself to step outside his comfort zone, and embraced the lessons that unfolded with each new adventure. He also shared his wisdom with others, mentoring those who sought guidance on their own journeys of self-discovery. He became a beacon of light, inspiring others to embrace their potential, to live with intention, and to play the infinite game of life with passion and purpose. Ethan had learned that true mastery is not about reaching a final destination. It is about embracing the journey itself, the continuous unfolding of self-discovery and growth. It is about dancing with the universe, navigating the currents of life with grace and resilience, and trusting in the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. And as he steered his sailboat towards the horizon, his heart filled with gratitude and anticipation, Ethan knew that the adventure was far from over. He was ready to embrace the infinite game, to explore the uncharted territories of his soul, to continue his journey of self-discovery with an open heart and an unwavering belief in the boundless potential of life. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have an amazing day. I would be really grateful if you could share and comment. Until we cross paths again.